It's time for You Can't Just Stop's Big Ask Question of the Day. Welcome to You Can't Just Stop, the place for quietly stubborn entrepreneurs with big goals and dreams. After encountering hundreds of high-achieving athletes, entrepreneurs, and world changers, I've discovered that many times their impact comes from the questions they ask as much as the actions they take. That's why I invite you to answer a question each and every day to reach your goals. What are the 3 worst things that could happen, and how can I prevent them from happening? If there's a decision you're struggling with, today's question is a great question to pull out of your pocket and use. And it always works well for me, and that is the old, what's the worst that could happen question. And when I'm wrestling with a decision, and I tend to overthink things anyway, but when I'm really wrestling with a decision, I like to kind of make that mental pro and con list and look at those 3, the 3 worst things that could happen, or just the worst thing that could happen if I made this decision and it went sideways for whatever reason. And many times I find when I make that list, first of all, it probably wasn't that big a deal in the first place, and I just kind of laugh it off. I'm like, well, why was I stressing out about this? Because the worst that could happen isn't that big a deal. But even if it is a big deal, or maybe even a medium-sized deal, this also allows me to try to put into play some contingencies, some stopgaps, so that if I make this decision and, hey, I start to see it going this direction, I start to see it going sideways, what can I do to prevent that? So I'm kind of planning ahead a little bit, which also gives me ease in making this decision. It makes me feel better about making this decision. And like I said, usually none of this bad stuff ever comes to happen. Very rare. So just a great tool to pull out every once in a while when you're trying to make that tough decision. So if you've got one of those today, think about that. What is the 3 worst things that could possibly happen if you make this decision? That's all for today's question. For more great questions to help you achieve your goals, download my 50 favorite questions by following the link in the description. See you tomorrow.